In the freezing gray waters of the White Sea, a monster awakens. For over 25 years, it lay dormant, rusting, silent, almost forgotten. Some thought it would never rise again, but now in 2025, a Cold War relic has returned, transformed into the most heavily armed surface combat ship in the world. This is the story of the Admiral Nakhimov, Russia's nuclear-powered guided missile cruiser. Once a titan of the Soviet Navy, now reborn with enough firepower to challenge NATO fleets, defend against entire waves of aircraft and missiles, and strike targets thousands of kilometers away. No ordinary warship, no ordinary modernization. This is now the most heavily armed surface combat ship in the world, carrying enough missiles to rewrite the balance of naval warfare. So, keep your eyes on the story. The Russian Ministry of Defense confirmed that the Admiral Nakhimov has successfully completed its first sea trials after deep refurbishment. Trials included testing propulsion systems and several other critical onboard functions, with further testing scheduled in the Barents Sea. Originally commissioned during the Cold War as part of the Project 1144 Orlan-class nuclear-powered cruisers, this ship was once considered obsolete, rusting away in port. But now, after decades of modernization, the Nakhimov emerges as a titan reborn, not just restored, but rebuilt into something the world has never seen before. At the heart of this transformation lies its missile arsenal. The Nakhimov now integrates a staggering 176 vertical launch cells, the largest missile capacity of any surface ship afloat. 96 launch cells are dedicated to the Navalised S-400 Triumph air defense system. That's the equivalent of 3 full battalions of S-400, each capable of housing 32 long-range interceptors. This means the ship can simultaneously track, engage, and destroy targets at ranges of up to 400 kilometers, from hostile aircraft to cruise missiles to even certain classes of ballistic threats. For the first time, an ocean-going surface vessel is armed with the very system that protects Russian cities and strategic sites on land. 80 additional launch cells are allocated for Russia's cruise missile arsenal. These include 3 M22 Zircon hypersonic missiles traveling at Mach 8 to 9, nearly impossible to intercept with ranges exceeding 1,000 kilometers. 3 M14T Kalibr land attack cruise missiles, Russia's answer to the American Tomahawk, capable of striking targets across continents. P-800 Oniks supersonic anti-ship missiles designed to overwhelm carrier battle groups with sheer speed and penetrating power. The Nakhimov can defend itself with a shield of S-400 interceptors while unleashing a storm of hypersonic, land attack, and anti-ship cruise missiles against targets anywhere within thousands of kilometers. To understand why this matters, we must look back. The Admiral Nakhimov belongs to the Kirov-class nuclear-powered battlecruisers, the largest and most heavily armed surface warships ever built since World War II. These Cold War behemoths were designed to counter U.S. carrier strike groups, ensuring that NATO naval supremacy would always be contested. For decades, most of them rusted in harbors as Russia struggled with post-Soviet decline. But now, Moscow has decided to breathe new life into these giants, upgrading them with modern missile technology and advanced defenses. What we see today is not the ship of the 1980s. It's a 21st century monster designed to dominate not only the North Atlantic, but any theater where it sails. Let's put this into perspective. The Admiral Nakhimov displaces nearly 28,000 tons when fully loaded, larger than most NATO cruisers and destroyers. The U.S. Navy's Arleigh Burke-class destroyer, for comparison, displaces about 9,000 tons with only 96 missile cells. Even the U.S. Ticonderoga-class cruisers, long considered the backbone of American naval firepower, carry 122 missile cells. But Nakhimov, 176 cells, nuclear-powered propulsion, and a mix of missiles that no other ship in the world can match. This makes the Nakhimov not just a ship, but effectively a floating fortress, capable of controlling airspace, sea lanes, and striking deep into enemy territory. The integration of the Navalised S-400 is perhaps the most revolutionary step. On land, the S-400 has already become infamous for its ability to lock onto targets hundreds of kilometers away. At sea, this transforms the Nakhimov into a mobile strategic air defense platform, capable of escorting entire fleets, defending against air raids, and creating a massive no-fly zone wherever it sails. This means any aircraft, whether NATO fighters, surveillance planes, or even AWACS command aircraft, will think twice before coming within 400 kilometers of this ship. In practical terms, the Nakhimov is no longer just a strike vessel. It is now the guardian and spearhead of the Russian fleet, both shield and sword, at the same time. On the offensive side, the Nakhimov's 80 cruise missile cells are designed to project power far beyond the horizon. Kalibr missiles allow strikes on land targets across Europe, the Middle East, or Asia. They've already been used extensively in Ukraine, striking command centers, energy facilities, and infrastructure. Oniks missiles give it the ability to devastate carrier strike groups, NATO's crown jewel of power projection. And the Zircon hypersonics? They change the entire game. At speeds over Mach 8, these missiles reduce reaction times to seconds, rendering traditional air defense systems nearly useless. For NATO navies, facing this ship means every carrier, every destroyer, and every port within 1,000 kilometers is under immediate threat. It's no surprise, then, that NATO and the United States are watching the Nakhimov's trials with deep concern. The U.S. Navy has long relied on its carrier strike groups to enforce dominance at sea. A single Nakhimov, armed with hypersonics, could put entire groups at risk. Europe's naval forces, while modern, do not field anything with this scale of firepower. Even China, despite its rapid naval expansion, does not yet deploy such a combination of nuclear propulsion, advanced air defenses, and hypersonic strike missiles in one vessel. This modernization signals Russia's intent to return to the world's oceans not as a fading power, but as a formidable challenger. Its ability to operate independently, powered by nuclear reactors, means it can remain at sea for years without refueling, unlike conventional fleets. That's all for today. Thanks for watching.